WNY Watercooler.com.
WNY Watercooler.com.
Watch the news for 5 minutes, Steve, and then tell me that your life is awful. You're a clown, Steve. I'm tired of the clown show. Tired of it. You've got a playoff team. You got a team that's won 3 in a row, and you're miserable because you love being miserable because that's what you're about. You're a clown, Steve. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you wasting our time on the air with your clown shoe garbage. Tired of it. Get a life. Watch CNN. You're a clown. Get a life, Steve. Don't bother my life. Lose the number. You're banned. You're not allowed to call anymore. I'm done with him. Done with him. I'm going away. You want to put him on the air? You want to be a clown? Be my guest. Steve is banned. Life is too short, too important to waste time on this filthy human piece of garbage. If Steve's on, I'm leaving.
Welcome back. WNYWatercooler.com podcast. I'm Steve, the host, and we got Coast.
What's up, Steve? Happy to be back for what, our 12th year? 10th year? 11th? Something like that.
Probably more like 8 or 9, but well, maybe longer than that. I don't know, but this has to be one of the most depressing home openers ever.
I mean, I don't know how you can possibly say that. This team is finally going in the right direction. I haven't been this excited about this franchise since probably the Donahoe hire and the Bledsoe trade.
Yeah, because you're not going to any of the games. You can just sit at home and hang out with your kids.
I mean, I'll go to a couple if they're in contention and late in the season, but I'm not ruling out Sunday either. It's so it's still 5 days away. You never know, but dude. I don't care. All I care about is them having a plan, and I think they have a plan, and that's what matters.
What is their plan?
Their plan is to build through the draft and not try and reach and desperately sneak in back into the playoffs. They want to actually try and build a good team the right way, and I don't know. I like what they're doing. Get building up early, day 1, day 2 picks, and hope they turn into good players. Then you have a solid nucleus, and maybe someday you can have a good team for, a legitimately good team. Well, not one that is trying to just get lucky 1 year, which is what we've been trying to do forever.
Well, what I don't get is if we have to use all these draft picks just to take one player, unless the quarterback is really good. It's a waste. We're using all these assets just for one player?
Well, that's what the media assumes is going to happen. I'm not sold that's what their plan is. And like you said, unless there's that one guy that is a no-brainer like Andrew Luck, we won't get him anyways because the Jets are probably going to be the worst team. They're not going to trade that pick. So, maybe we just use one of our first-round picks to take one of those second-tier guys. I have no idea, but yeah, I don't think their entire plan is to trade all these picks to move off to pick 2.
Yeah,
that would just be dumb.
That wouldn't make any sense unless it's maybe the second best quarterback, and then even then you're getting the second best quarterback. I mean, sometimes there are multiple good quarterbacks, but I mean, just this past week, Darnold. I didn't really watch the games. I was just looking at the stats. Rosen had a good game, but Darnold didn't play that well.
Did you see highlights, or did you see the Rosen game?
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights of it.
It was incredibly lucky. His stats were inflated because of incredible luck that he had. From what I saw,
I don't want to fucking talk about quarterbacks in next year's draft before the season even started. But
I'm with you.
The only way that we're going to be good this year is if the defense is way better than last year, which I think we don't have the fucking retard. We don't have moron Rex is our coach, so right there,
our defense could be twice as good. And everyone who talks about the Bills tanking and they've overturned their whole roster, they don't know what they're talking about. Our entire 6 of our front 7 is basically the same. And yeah, we turned over our secondary for the most part, pretty much entirely. Our safeties were horrible. Our defense in general was horrible. So the turnover on defense isn't going to hurt us. And on offense, we're bringing back the same backfield, the same offensive line, same tight end. So, yeah, we turned over our receivers. We're exchanging a second-round mediocre receiver for another second-round receiver, and we got rid of our, quote, number one who's constantly hurt. Like, I just don't – everyone's just like, oh, this team's in tank mode. They just aren't paying attention. I don't think there's any reason to believe that they're, like, guaranteed to be worse than last season.
The problem is that WGR just poisons everyone's brains, and to think that the only way to do anything is tanking. We got rid of a fucking guy that played 8 games last year, and even when those 8 games that he played, he was hurt. He played 12 2 years ago, and he was hurt in half of those games that he even played. Yeah, he had tons of upside, but it never flourished. It never happened.
He had a 9-game stretch in maybe his second year where he was healthy and he was good. But other than that, he's either been hurt, out, or playing hurt in just a non-factor. So the Watkins trade is just, to me, it's nothing to me. It doesn't have, the potential of him being great is there, but how are you supposed to just expect that to happen? You can't.
Before the season, if you asked anyone how many games they thought Watkins was going to play, if anyone said they thought he was going to play more than 11, they're lying.
Yeah, the over-under would have been like 10.5, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he already got banged up in practice this year. I mean, who knows? But and we got back. It's not like we just ditched him for nothing. We got back like a legit actual NFL starting caliber receiver. So I mean, I don't know. I think that our offense, they probably won't put up as many numbers as they did last year, but I think they can be close to as good, and our defense is definitely going to improve. The only problem is this year is our schedule on paper looks harder, but you never know.
Yeah, it does seem much harder, but the offense is the main concern. I mean, if we don't score, obviously we're not going to win. The defense, I think, will be a lot better. In-game will be a little bit better, probably, but, I mean, maybe even a lot better. McDermott, I don't have a lot of faith in the guy, but, I mean, maybe over the long term, but for this year, I mean, he's going to do dumb shit that he wasn't supposed to do, and he's such a classic football guy. He's going to punt. He's going to do all the same shit that Rex would probably do.
All those coaches, I mean, 95% of coaches do that shit.
Yeah.
He can't be dumber than Rex, and there's just no way. Rex was an abomination.
Oh yeah, no one's dumber than Rex, but yeah, with the offense, we bring back the whole offensive line is the exact same. If we use the tight ends and screen passes, which we never did before, I mean, it's a concern if they're taking with this Dennison offense that Tiny Tyrod's gonna be under center, which he never was. So, I mean, that could be a huge learning curve. But
yeah, Taylor, I don't know. I still think that the Bills are waiting for the perfect opportunity to bench him without it looking bad. And that could be another injury. That could be him just being horrendous where they have no choice. But benching him now, I think, would just be a bad look for the team. And that's why they're not doing it, because I know you're certain that Taylor's better. I don't know if Taylor's better in this offense.
Well,
it's not suited. It doesn't seem to me, at least, based on. I mean, they're not showing in the preseason, obviously, what they're going to do with him in the regular season. But
we saw basically nothing of Tyrod. We saw a couple of drives, and they went 3 and out. Or I don't know. We just didn't see anything. So you're right. Maybe this offense could be more tailored towards Nate Dogg Peterman, but right this second, Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback than Nate Peterman. There's no doubt about it. And what's the point of playing Peterman now? Wait, if everyone thinks they're going to be bad, start him week 8 or 10 or whatever. What's the difference?
Yeah, no, I think that is. I mean, there's basically 3 scenarios. The Bills are decent and Taylor's decent, and they just keep playing him. Or the other 2 are Taylor gets hurt and Peterman comes in, or they suck and Peterman comes in. I think there's a good chance we see Peterman start a decent number of games this year. I mean, there's a good chance Taylor gets hurt, and there's a good chance they suck, and then we'll see what the kids got.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I didn't think that. I assumed Peterman would play. I put the over-under at 2.5, but Tiny gets hurt already, and I mean, last year he didn't get hurt really at all, but this year he's already hurt, and we probably are pushing him to come back too quick, maybe. I don't know, but
he's been pretty durable. I mean, he missed 2 games in 2015, which pretty much cost us our season. And in 2016, he only missed, one game at the end when he could have played?
Yeah, he would have played that game.
Given his style, he's been a pretty durable guy, but, he's not a big guy with all that running. He could easily get it injured.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect out of this offense other than it's going to be ugly. Unless McCoy goes off, maybe Charles Clay learns how to play football, and who knows? Maybe Matthews stays healthy and he's actual player. Zay Jones could bust out. These are all highly unlikely scenarios.
The receivers are a huge question mark. I don't know what kind of whatever. How much Taylor's not used to throwing to these guys, and Jones could be great. Jones, I like Jones. Looked like a good player in preseason. Haven't even seen Matthews yet, so it's a huge question mark.
Yeah, of course, no one talks about any of this stuff on the radio or anywhere. All we talk about is, what's the compensatory fucking draft pick formula? Every time I talk to anyone, that's what people talk about, is the compensatory draft pick formula. Who do we have to cut? That's the conversations that we have. That's what this franchise is. It's just depressing. No one wants to talk about anything except for fucking tanking.
I want to know how Jordan Matthews looks in practice. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I need to. That's what I need to be hearing, dude. Think about last season. These games, we went into Oakland with who played receiver in that game? Did Watkins even play? Wasn't it Marquise Goodwin was our number one?
It was ugly, and we were up for a while, and then the O-line collapsed, the defense collapsed, and then Tyrod collapsed. But
yeah, I think that if these guys aren't this core could be as good as last year's easily, or better when you factor in Watkins not playing. I don't know how durable Matthews is going to be since he got hurt in his first 5 minutes of his first practice, but I don't know. I'm not ready to just say that our receiver, we're just throwing it in on offense, because I think we could be as good as last year. Even if we don't put up the point total that we put up last year, I still think we could be as good, because that offense padded their stats against the bad team, scored a ton of points, 40-something points against Arizona and San Fran. They were not consistent when they needed to be, and I think we can easily see improvement there.
All right, let's run through the schedule. All
right.
Week 1, Jets.
Win.
With tiny.
Are we picking the games?
Yeah, we might as well here, just to get this. We got to get our predictions in. Although, one thing I'll say, I think the Patriots, I think they're going to have a cursed season. When you load up and get all these players and all this shit, they already put 3 prominent players on IR already.
Losing Edelman has to hurt them.
Yeah.
Unless all of a sudden Chris Hogan turns, because Brady's always had Welker, Edelman, and unless someone can be that player, that's gonna hurt him.
Well, he'll be replaceable, but not to that same extent.
Maybe probably won't.
I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna be cursed, and if something happens to Brady, the whole conference is pretty much a joke. What, the Steelers, the Chiefs?
Yeah, it's really up in the air. The AFC West, it's Oakland.
4 of those teams could win.
They were the best team last year in that division, but we went in there and we kicked their ass for 2.5 quarters. The other teams aren't good. I'm not scared of Kansas City. The North, you got Pittsburgh, but other than that, it's just garbage. The South, there's a lot of these teams should be great this year that haven't proven anything.
Yeah, Tennessee. Is anyone scared of Mike Malarchuk? Give me a break.
Yeah, he's probably been our best coach in the past 17 years. So it's up in the air if Brady gets hurt. You're right. He's 40. It could happen.
Yeah, or even, I don't know. He probably won't get hurt. Let's face it. But I feel like something bad. It's not going to go as everyone thinks. 14-2, 15-1, 16-0. I don't know. I just feel like they're not. Something's going to happen. But okay, Week 1, Jets. We both have a win. At Carolina, I'm going to it, so that's bad.
Given that you're 2-8 or something.
Something along those lines. 2-9, 2-9.
We'll be what? We'll be plus 7 in that game.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's their home opener.
Yeah, we're not winning that game. Even though Carolina was bad last year.
They were bad, and Cam's banged up, but
you'd expect it to have a bounce back season, but I don't know, new coordinator. Maybe they're. I think I'd pick Carolina, but I don't think it's a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, other than because I'm going, it's pretty much guaranteed.
That is the big that is the biggest negative.
Yeah. So we both have them at 1-1. Then Denver at home.
Win.
I don't even know who Paxton Lynch. No, he's hurt. It.
Didn't they?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's that dickhead from Northwestern. Man.
Simeon. Didn't they just sign a guy or trade for a guy?
Yeah, Brock.
Who?
Brock Osweiler.
They just got Brock back.
Yeah, they're talking about.
I'm definitely not scared of Denver. We were better than them when that year they won the Super Bowl. We should have been, or maybe that was the year before when we went in there with Marone and we kicked Manning's ass, but Orton was
gave
just
up.
Pathetic. And so I'm not scared of Denver. That's a win. We could potentially be like -1 in that game too.
I think we'll. Yeah, it could be a pickup, maybe -1. And then at Atlanta, that's a loss.
I can't see us beating a good quarterback in a dome. I mean, those games always end up being like 38-6.
We have literally no chance of winning that game.
2-2. That's a good first quarter of the season.
Yeah, and then these 3 games coming up. These 3 are where it's like, is this a horrible season, or are we going to be able to watch games in November? So it's at Cincy.
Oh man, at Cincy.
Week 5, we're 2-2.
Play this team every year. I gotta go loss at Cincy. Unless AJ Green goes down again, that'd be huge. But
no, we don't have your boy to cheap shot him stuff.
I'm going loss.
I think we're gonna beat Cincy.
Wow, 3 and so you got him at 3-2. I got him at 2-3.
Bye week and then home to Tampa.
Win.
Your boy.
My boy, win. They might have to play 16 games in 16 weeks, so not like it'll impact them at that point. But I'm going win.
It really won't. But yeah, if we lose to Winston at home, I mean, what's the weather gonna be like? That's late October. It could be chilly.
Winston's gonna be a stud this year, but he's not. I'm not that scared of Tampa at home, especially at 2-2, 3-2, 2-3. Weather's still decent. Fans will still have some interest, so I'm going win.
You know who their quarterback is, or their coach is?
Dirk?
Oh. What's his last name?
Don't try to embarrass me on national podcast radio.
International.
Dirk Cutter.
All right, so I got us at 4-2. You got us at 3-3.
Yeah.
We might be a little too positive. I gotta bring another guest on after this. And then the game of the year, Oakland.
Loss.
Cross country. Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to see who they're playing the week before. Maybe they'll have a short week, and I'd have to drive cross country
on a bus.
I'm still going loss there, so I'm down to 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're losing that game. So you have us 3 and 4.
3 and 4. You're 4 and 3.
And then Jets Thursday night.
Win.
Is anyone gonna watch that game except for like Bills season ticket holder, or like people that like really go to Bills game, watch Bills games?
I think only Bills fans will be watching. I don't even think Jets fans are gonna watch.
Yeah, I don't think any
maybe 20% of Jets fans will watch.
So I got us at 5 and 3.
I got us at 4 and 4. 5 and 3 seems like an optimistic first half, but
it's very optimistic.
This is when our schedule starts to turn, I think.
Yeah, we got New Orleans after that.
New Orleans at home?
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah, when have the Saints been good?
3?
When was the last time?
6 and 3. This stadium will be just ridiculous. The Bills are 6 and 3.
When was the last time the New Orleans Saints were good? Someone tell me. 4 years ago?
It's been a while. They're like the most overhyped team every year because of one player.
Because their quarterback throws the ball a lot because people love the ball's in the air. Wow-wee.
And get them out of the dome and forget about it. Breeze might be the most overrated. I've said this before. He's the most overrated quarterback of our generation. The guy would not be a Hall of Famer if he was not playing in the dome 10 times a year.
Yeah, he's only played in perfect weather like his whole career.
His road non-dome stats. I looked them up before. They're like very mediocre. So
he's still really good, but
he's good, but
he's just lucky that he went to New Orleans instead of Miami. If he had played in Miami, he would have had a much worse career.
Yeah. So I got us winning that game, 5 and 4. When was the last time the Bills were 6 and 3? Is a good trivia question.
Probably wasn't that long ago.
I think it was 1999.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe 2000. We might have been 6-3 in 2000, but I don't think we've been 6 because all the good. We were 5-1.
Yeah,
one year,
we always hit a wall at that 5th win.
Yeah,
Can't get
I
over
don't
the
think we've
5
been
win hump.
6-3.
Yeah, that's actually true. So then at Rams.
Wait. So you got us at 6-3 as a 5-4. All right, at Rams, West Coast, playing our old half our old team. I'm going win.
I have us losing that game.
What? They're going to be terrible.
Yeah, they will be terrible, but there's no. I don't know. I mean,
Odds Watkins just lights us up.
61%. Is he even going to be playing by then? Maybe he'll come off IR at that point. He'll be off his 8-week IR.
Him and Woods, I can just see them just torching us. And then all Bills fans are like, oh, yeah, I'm so stupid for trading them.
Jared Goff. Who's their backup?
Do they still have, Keenum? Or I have no idea.
Jared Goff. Jesus.
I got us winning that, so I got us at 6, and we both have them at 6-4.
Yeah, and then at KC, is Pat Mahomes going to be playing by then?
Like we need to take the over. I'm taking loss at KC no matter what because we're just cursed. We're cursed against them.
Yeah, we'll get to lose against Pat Mahomes probably. And
it's gonna be that game where we're 6-4, kind of in it. Kansas City will be 6-4, 7-3 or something, and we have it in our hands and just blow it. Happens all the time.
Yeah, it's guaranteed pretty much.
All right, 6-5.
Yeah, at New England or home to New England, that's a loss.
6-6.
Colts. Scott
must win.
The Scott Tolzien show.
That team's horrible. I got us winning that game to get to 7-6.
Yeah,
remaining in the hunt.
7-6 again. Then we got Miami in our barn in December.
Is that the next game? Oh yeah, we have 3 straight home games.
Yeah, that's weird.
Win 8-6.
Yeah, Smoking Joe. This schedule isn't that hard to me. I mean, it's not easy, but
going through it game by game, it seems like there's a lot of winnable games.
All right, so we beat Smoking Joe, and then I have us dropping our last 2 at New England, at Miami.
So 8-6. What are we win out and we're in situation, and we have to go to Gillette?
Whew. Well, maybe that game will mean nothing if they're 13-1.
Yeah, but I can't see them resting guys for 2 weeks in a row.
They'll play at half.
Field, probably. Even if they're 13-1 and Pittsburgh's 11-3.
They'll want to showcase Garoppolo, because then they'll franchise him and then trade him.
We're losing that game. If Garoppolo plays, we're losing that game.
We won 2 out of the last 3 there. 66% in their last 3.
Yeah, we pretty much own them in their stadium.
Pretty embarrassing for them.
So 8-7, and then if we're 8-7, we probably have a look, and we could have a look in Miami, needing a couple losses.
New Year's Eve, I might travel down there for a win and in scenario.
If it's a win and in situation, then.
Wow, be partying on South Beach.
I got us winning that one to go 9-7 and narrowly miss.
I got us at 8-8, and we are way too positive. That's weird. We might be the only 2 people. Baby. We might be the only 2 people in all of Buffalo that are that positive. I thought before looking at the schedule 7-9, so I could maybe flip. I could flip that Cincy game, or maybe one of the home games.
I honestly think that. There's no reason to think this team can't be better than last year, even on paper. People, the media, national media, everyone just doesn't pay attention to the team outside of Buffalo, and even the local people are just.
They all have the same fucking talking points. Do you ever hear anyone on WGR ever argue with each other once? They just all have the same opinion. All of them.
If people call in and try and disagree, it's usually.
They'll pick apart one thing that you misspoke about, and that's all they'll talk about.
They get berated.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Losing Ronald Darby is going to set the franchise back? Oh, we lost a receiver that played 8 games, and no one was anticipating he plays barely any more than that? The expectations just sunk so much, but not in the eyes of Vegas. The total wins haven't changed. The odds payout...
And that's what people should pay attention to.
Yeah.
The Darby trade, who cares? And it's a we're playing like a totally different system. And how does anyone know if Darby like even fits that system or not?
Yeah,
like he got drafted by this old regime to probably play like man D, which he was good at rookie year. It's a totally different scheme now. Maybe he's just not a fit for it. Like, but everyone like assumes that we're just tanking because we traded a cornerback.
Put EJ Gaines and Ronald Darby in like just a generic jersey. How many people are going to be able to differentiate them?
Nobody. Darby got lit up last year so many times. Like, I don't know. And I was so happy when we made those trades. At first, I was shocked. I was just surprised. But then I was like, wow, this is like great. We got 2 players back the same positions who are decent. We got these draft picks, and these guys, the main piece of the trade plays half the games. Like, what's there to be upset about?
If I was Watkins, I would be pissed. I have to go to fucking play with Goff.
Yeah, it's somehow a downgrade. At least he knew like Taylor could chuck it bombs to him.
Yeah. Other than the weather, I mean, it'll be nice weather, so all his joints might stay intact a little bit longer. But
yeah, living in LA, I don't know. I mean, if he has a good year, he'll get paid. But I don't like if I'm the same, I wouldn't like my odds playing with Goff. You
got any other hot takes or predictions for this year?
I can't believe I just predicted us to go 9-7. No, I don't really have any hot takes other than we're definitely gonna. I think we're gonna be as good as last year or better. Still gonna miss the playoffs, and I definitely don't think they're in tank mode. Obviously, but
how many games is your boy Nate the Great Peterman gonna play?
I put the over under at like 5.5. I really think that they think he's better for this offense, and they're waiting for the right time. But I'll have to wait. I'll see how Taylor looks week 1 because they should. Hopefully, they'll be, play calls will be way more suited towards his strengths. He looked so uncomfortable in the preseason, but they're not showing anything. But I still think
his
Taylor
performance was disconcerting. I mean,
decent amount of games. What?
Yeah, his performance in that brief preseason that we saw was pretty disconcerting, except for when he was throwing the ball to Watkins, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, but I think they're waiting for the right time, and I think Peterman can come in and run the offense just fine.
All right. Well, next week's podcast, maybe I'll drink more beer and I'll be a little more angry.
This was I think our listeners will enjoy a civil podcast without any swear words.
I highly doubt that. I feel like that's our only go-to thing that people like.
Start losing it about shit. I'm sure it'll happen next week when we lose to the Jets 9-7.
I'll call FaZe and he'll just start dropping F-bombs all over the place.
Oh yeah, I love it.
All right,
man. See.
2017 Bills preview. We got to bring our boy Rec on the line.
Watercooler, thanks for having me. It's good to finally have some football to watch this week. Saw that your boy Zeke might be able to actually play this week. That's a joke, but these last couple of weeks have made me absolutely disgusted. Terry Pagula, I don't know how he can show his face in downtown Buffalo. Russ Brandon is an absolute joke. The guy, he all he's about is selling tickets, sucking off T-Pegs and Kimmy. Bean, he doesn't like any solid player that Whaley drafted. He's going to get rid of Darby for a 1-year Matthews and a third. He's going to trade Seymour for a receiver I've never heard of and a 7th rounder in 2 drafts. I've never heard a team go for picks 2 drafts later in the late rounds. Is this a fucking joke?
Brandon
Bean, what the fuck is going on?
Bean's clearing the deck. He hates Doug Whaley. Then again, who doesn't hate Doug Whaley?
Yeah, okay, but you got 2 good corners there, and now who the hell do we have? EJ Dean? Oh yeah, he was the highest rated corner in the preseason. Congratulations. You got James Winston, Matty Ice, Tom Brady, Derek Carr lining up against us this year. I think we only have three safeties on the roster. We don't have a backup middle linebacker. I mean, we got a lot of talent, but I don't know. It's frustrating to see what Bean and his young cronies are doing at friggin' OBD.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love all the moves, but if you can pick out pick out Darby and EJ Gaines out of a fucking lineup, you'll be the only one. Though they're basically the same player. That trade I don't care about. You didn't even mention Watkins or your boy Jonathan Williams.
Yeah, what about him? He's signed with the Broncos.
Yeah, I know, but why did we get rid of him? That one I didn't get because he can't play special teams. The other thing,
because 28-year-old Banyard is more valuable to make one tackle against the Jets on special teams than have a second year back from the SEC running downhill. That's great move there, Bean.
Banyard's 28. Yikes! I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Well,
28. Tyron Jones is late 20s too.
Well, 31 other teams didn't claim him initially. I mean, Denver signed him now, but no one claimed him initially.
Well,
I did see that. I did see that Lorenzo Alexander is our backup middle linebacker. That's definitely disconcerting.
Yeah, and they say some of the reason for the Ragland trade was that Thumper Brown looks that good this year. Like, all of a sudden he looks so much better than he has in. Like, our front seven the last 2 years has been embarrassing. Now all of a sudden this guy's Chris Spielman from the '94 Lions. What's up?
Well, I didn't like getting rid of Ragland. I just didn't like that. We gave up so much for him. We can't even give him one season. Last year didn't count at all. So what did he have? Like 15 practices with us in his career?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he looked. Watching him in the SEC, he looked like a legit player, and now he can't even play for a team that I don't know, that hasn't even can't stop the run the last 2 years, and this guy can't crack the top 53. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's puzzling. Is Jordan Matthews going to do anything this year?
Oh, that chipped fibula bone in his
I think it's in his chest.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see if Tyrod can actually throw the ball more than like a 4-yard check down to O'Leary or Patrick DeMarco out of the backfield. Then yeah, maybe. I mean, you got a 6'3", 6'4" receiver with hands. I mean, he's going to want to have a big year. He's has a contract to play for. You would think you could get him the ball. You think you could get Clay the ball. Zay Jones had 160 catches. I know he's playing for the East Carolina Pirates, but I mean, Andre Holmes hasn't done much to get anybody too excited. You got Powell suspended. Brandon Tate is a nobody, but yeah, he has a couple of weapons. They want to get Shady the ball more in the passing game, so that'll be interesting. I don't know. I feel like you can't really judge much off this preseason, but unless they come out hot these first couple games, these fans are not going to be too happy with this offense.
Yeah, I think Patrick DeMarco might be our leading receiver at the end of the year. Most catches. We might not throw the ball past like 20 yards downfield.
I don't even know if we have a player that can run a 20-yard route.
Pretty sure we can, except maybe Clay, but Clay is like a ghost.
Yeah, is this Walt Powell guy? Is he any good? Like, how many games did he even play last year for us?
I have no idea. I don't think he did much, and now he's out for the first 4 weeks. Walter Powell. I mean, we're really going to count on that guy. I know nothing about him because I figured we'd cut him, but we could store him on the suspended list for a month.
Well, I mean, obviously Bolden retires. You cut Streeter. You cut Des Lewis. You put the white boy on the practice squad. And now all of a sudden you're weak at receiver. All of a sudden you have Andre Holmes as your 2/3, depending on how healthy Matthews is.
Pretty
and
sad.
You got Brandon Tate as a is Kalen Clay going to dress this week?
Who?
Kalen Clay, our newest trade acquisition from Carolina.
Oh, I didn't even look up that guy. What is he? They're going to put Tate more in the offense, and they're going to have that guy do kick returning? Is that what it seems like?
I have no idea. I honestly have no... I would hope Matthews and Zay and Holmes get most of the looks, but, I mean, you would think one of those two are going to have to at least play some snaps unless we're just running two backs and two tight ends all game against the Jets.
Well, no one around here in Buffalo talks about the Bills. All they talk about is fucking tanking and draft picks and compensatory pick formulas. It's a joke. No one even talks about the team.
Yeah, you're right. All they know is like that Spencer Ware is out for the season, or that Michael Crabtree's projected to get 82 catches in Oakland or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
It's a terrible sports town.
Yeah. What's that?
It's a terrible sports town. All our sports radio talks about is purposely losing, or they hump the fucking team. It's pathetic.
Right. Yeah. I mean, okay, the schedule. Yeah, we're playing the NFC South. Our first three, we could easily be 3-0. I mean, week 2 at Carolina is a tough game, but okay, you say you beat the Jets. Most likely you're going to win at home against Denver. I mean, you could easily be 3-0. You're telling me all of a sudden the fanboys aren't going to start crawl out from the woodwork when we're 3-0?
They definitely will. If that magically happens. I mean, but yeah, you're right. I mean, Denver, I'm not scared of Trevor Siemian. Cam Newton's still hurt. Jets are a fucking joke. What's our record going to be?
Record? I'm going to say, lately I've been going up, believe it or not. I think this team's going to rally around. I think the defense is going to be better. I think you're going to get a lot of production from Charles Clay. I think DeMarco is going to make a difference. I'm going to go 9-7, 10-6. Honestly.
Wow, man, this podcast is way too positive. I love it. I'm going to 9 games. Hopefully, this shit happens.
Yeah, I'm going to 1. What? Give me an MVP of the offense. Don't say McCoy. Give me the MVP of the defense.
It's got to be Clay and defense Thumper.
Oh boy! Wow, Thumper. Guy's gonna get paid.
Manny Lawson? Or no, not Manny. Shaq Lawson. I don't even know his name. That guy's he's fucking so invisible.
Yeah, hopefully Jerry Hughes shows up against Josh McCown on Sunday.
Jesus Christ. We better kill the Jets.
I'll take a 6-point W. I could care less.
Well, win's a win, but yeah, I mean, if it looks ugly, that's not good. But all right, you got any last hot takes? Any Nate Peterman hate fest talk?
No, I'm obviously not a Peterman fan. I don't see how anybody could be. He's a decently athletic, kind of small white guy with a terrible arm, an absolutely terrible arm. The guy can't throw over 12 yards. He's good at checking down. He's the worst version of Trent Edwards, in my book.
Yeah, I feel like he's a shorter version of Trent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited to see this team come out Sunday with the full game plan. Hopefully Matthews is healthy, and yeah, I mean you should be able to put the Jets away early, or else it could be a long year.
Yeah, well, we'll see what this idiot coach Dougie McDermott does.
Yeah, I have no confidence in Doug McDermott on game day. He'll probably like try to do something to like build the team spirit or something, or like when the game's on the line. Who knows? They'll
all sing or pray the rosary or some bullshit.
Yeah, him and Dennison don't. I mean, Rick Dennison, come on. You need to give Taylor. Let him call the plays of the line. I mean, you're going against Todd Bowles' defense. I can't name more than 3 guys on that defense, and I mean, you're at home. You need to win that game.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll talk to you next week.
All right. 10-6.
Okay, it's gutter hope. All about my bills like Buffalo.
That's about it from Manager's Corner. Go fuck yourself, and the fuck with your show coming up next.
We're going to the playoffs, and you're going to take out one of our best players because you couldn't take a hit? That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
Shit, I'm all about the bills like Thurman Thomas.
Win the game. We need an L. We need an L against Houston. We need as many L's as we can pile